Hey everybody, Doug here. Welcome back to yet another board game channel and yet another round of Eldritch Horror as we are trying to deal with the Windwalker Ithaqua. Things are not going well, mostly because everybody has these horrible little corruptions which are going to just keep getting worse and worse as time goes on. Unless we can get ourselves to the Dreamlands and do some encounters there on certain spots, but that's going to be really hard to do. We are going to have... Yeah, we're going to have to start sending some people into the Dreamlands. Maybe not this turn. So I want to do some other stuff first. First things first, slight error, which I did point out in a caption. When the voice of Ra caused Marie to lose one sanity, that she doesn't have to in this case. As part, if you would spend or lose sanity as part of a spell effect, you may lose or spend or lose one less. So that'll be 0. So yeah, we're just gonna get into this. See if we can get something done. We are once again going to be starting with Preston Fairmont, who is still up in Tunguska. Alright, Preston is first going to move to Space 16, which is a city, and for his second action he is going to try to acquire assets. If he doesn't do well, I'm probably going to take a debt condition, because there's something in particular I really want him to get. I could, for his second action, gain a focus, so that when Ithaqua's reckoning kicks in, we don't have to get another hypothermia. But yeah, I really am hoping for him to get the Silver Twilight host, because it would be extremely useful. He'd be able to get rid of his corruption. So he's going to roll 5 for his influence. Each 6 is going to be worth 2 successes. We want 3. And he did it. So he got a 5 and he got a 6, which is worth 2. So that is enough. And the reason I want it... Service. When you gain this card, immediately recover 3 health and 3 sanity. He's not down that low, but he gets his sanity back. But the reason we want it is gain a boon condition, then discard this card. He's not actually going to get one. Instead, corruption, if you would gain a boon condition, discard this card instead. So he gets rid of, I guess maybe he still holds on to the Eldritch token though, because it isn't attached to the card, it's attached to him. But as long as he doesn't have this, it doesn't matter. And I really wanted to get rid of his, because his would start, he'd start getting ambushed by monsters, which could get him down to, 1 health or 1 sanity, which means he would fail his personal story. And we don't want that. So that worked out the way I wanted it to. He's still going to get hit by the hypothermia, assuming that this is going to be a reckoning round, which is even odds. Alright, we are going to move on to Calvin Wright. Okay, first thing Calvin does is he is going to move to San Francisco. I'm going to see if we can get something good from the expedition encounter. Second thing he's going to do is rest, mostly to try to get rid of, because he is at full health, we're going to try to get rid of this internal injury, because if a reckoning comes up, this is going to hit him with a complete failure because of his corruption. So, I'm going to roll a die on a 5 or 6 we will be able to get rid of it. That visible, that is visible. 2. Nope. I think he's going to be in trouble next turn. But we'll see. Next up, Marie Lambeau over in Tokyo. Okay, the first thing Marie is going to do is acquire assets, and we are probably going to go ahead. Oh, guess what I forgot to do again? I forgot to replenish the reserve after Preston picked up what he picked up. It's not an ally. We really want allies so that Leo can get them. Scroll of Secrets, item tome. When you gain this card from the deck or reserve, gain a clue. Okay. And gain +2 lore when resolving spell effects. So that would actually be useful for Marie. But first, yes, we need to pick up the provisions. We've got to get this darn first mystery out of the way. It should be much simpler than it has been, but we've just not been rolling well. So we want at least 2 successes here. Yes, influence 4. Now, she only got 1, so we are going to gain a debt condition. So I think this is our first time going into the deals, so we will shuffle and pull from the back until we get, let's see, funding, debt. And it is something you can at least try to get rid of. Yeah. Local action, test influence. If you pass, discard it. If the reckoning happens, we got to flip it and see what happens. Hopefully nothing too terrible. So, that gives her 3, which means she is going to pick up some provisions. When you perform a rest action, you can discard this to recover more. That puts her up to 3 assets. Not nearly enough to trigger Preston's success. She does have 1 more. Yes, the bank loan gave us 2 successes, so we may as well pick this up, clear something out of the no, okay, I thought I forgot something earlier. I didn't. Out of the reserve, should pick up a task. After resolving a general encounter or an expedition encounter on a wilderness space, you may examine the area's soil, test observation. If you pass, gain 2 clues, and discard this card. We may pass that on to somebody else, but I mostly wanted to clear it up. You know, I was hoping we'd get an ally, but no. Arcane Sutra. Item tome. Gain +2 lore when resolving spell effects. You may re-roll 2 dice with matching results when resolving a lore test as part of a spell effect. Okay. I want to make sure, yeah, we don't even have any allies in the discard pile. Leo can't use his wonderful ability. Anyway, second action. Marie is going to move up to that Eldritch token so she can finish off our mystery at the end of the turn. However, what we're also going to do is use her Voice of Ra. David Koch kind of reminded me that, yeah, if we use this, well, first of all, she can keep lowering her health in a controlled way so that maybe Calvin can do his story of giving away a bunch of health and or sanity. But it means we'll also be able to, as a third action, well, first of all, we have to spend 1 health, not 1 sanity, because she spends 1 less sanity. Get rid of that. And she is going to grab a focus token, which she'll be able to spend on not getting another hypothermia kick in. Yes, it means she gets to do an additional action. So, finally, on to Leo, who, yeah, just can't use his special stuff. Yeah, I think what Leo is going to do is going to stay there and try to get that clue. First of all, he's going to take a focus for his first action. Second action, he's going to rest. He doesn't need to heal, but we're going to try to get rid of his hypothermia. When resting, yes, nobody, oh heck, did, no, never mind. Getting everything muddled up because there were so many different conditions on people. Right, he wouldn't be able to restore health anyway, but we are going to roll one die on a 4, 5, or 6. We'll get rid of his current hypothermia. 2. Nope. No such luck. Well, he's going to hang out there and maybe get a clue. And yeah, that's it for actions. Some very confused actions, but I think I got it all straight in the end. On to encounters. I'm going to start with Preston. It's going to just have a generic city encounter. Okay, what have we got here? A local festival gives you a chance to speak with the city's denizens. Hey! Testing influence, which is great for him. He's going to roll 5 dice. Yet somehow he managed to completely fail. All 1s and 2s. Wow. If you pass, if you fail, they see you as dangerous. Gain a detained condition. Oh, Lord. Can't believe he believed that. I believe that is a restriction. Yes, that's a restriction. Give that a little shuffle for its first time. Lost time, space. Detained. You cannot move or perform actions other than the action on this card. Instead of resolving an encounter, flip this card. He will be able to at least try to get rid of it next turn using his influence, which he should have nailed this time, but didn't. Okay, Calvin in San Francisco is, yeah, we're going to have an expedition encounter. Fingers crossed that it's something good. All right, Calvin, what can we get up to here? Oh, come on, focus, you. There we are. Due to city ordinance, the Oddfellows Cemetery is obliged to move its bodies to a new location. Well, that sucks. You try to warn the authorities about cults that would take advantage of the situation and steal corpses. I'm going to test his influence, which is only 3. Okay. Oh. Now, do I want to use a clue? No, maybe we'll save the clue in case there's a worse roll in the fail effect. Okay. So we fail that. You spend the night alone in the cemetery, lose 1 sanity. Awesome. The cult arrives and you follow them. Test observation. Oh, okay. He's down to 6 sanity. His observation is 3. Might use our clue here. But this time he got 2 successes. All right. If you pass, you tell the police of their lair. Hey, retreat doomed by 1. If you fail, Okay. So that means it's going to push our doom up to 14. All right. That's an acceptable result. And our next expedition encounter space, this is going to move over to the pyramids. Okay, that is Calvin. On to Marie. Okay, Marie is getting a generic wilderness encounter. Your food has gone bad, and there's no place nearby to search to purchase more supplies. If you want to eat, you'll have to hunt for your meal. Observation -1. For observation's only 2. So she's only going to roll a single die, which we are not going to re-roll. I don't want to lose her focus, because that'll block the hypothermia, and we need the clue to finish off the mystery. If you pass, if you fail, you have made do with the rancid food. Gain a poisoned condition. Oh boy. That'll be under illness. I think it's the first time with illness, so let's give that a little shuffle there. And then we'll go until we find action poisoned. When you perform a rest action, you cannot recover health nor sanity. Flip this card. And on a reckoning, we're going to lose a health. Oh boy. Yep, the bad news keeps piling up. Alright, let's see if Leo has any luck on a clue encounter. Okay, that's still a wilderness space that he's on. So he'll get to roll another die. According to an anonymous tip, this cave is somehow related to the abnormal weather. Observation. So he's going to get to roll 4 dice. And he killed that. If you pass, you find cave paintings depicting Ithaqua and Nodens locked in combat. Gain this clue. Okay. Because I'm sure we'll need clues for future mysteries. You always do eventually. Alright, another mixed bag of encounters. Some good, some bad. And now, yeah, we'll be moving on to, yay, the dreaded Mythos phase. Alright, here we go. Is it a rumor or reckoning? It's reckoning. Oh, but look, snowflakes. Yay. Right, first things first, we're going to have to move the omen track, which you can't quite see on camera, but it's unfortunately moved around to red. We have 2 red gates on the board. So we're going to move the doom down to 12. At least we got to retreat it a little bit first. Then, yes, what I was afraid of, it's reckoning time. So we do the monsters on the board first. And we have 2 monsters that are going to do things. We have the zombie horde. Going to roll a die on a 1 or a 2. Doom is going to advance even more. 3. Okay, at least that didn't happen. But yeah, that avian thrall that came back is going to move to the nearest investigator who is going to encounter it. That is going to be Leo again, because it moves from the underworld into Rome. And yeah, Leo's 1 space away. So, time for a combat encounter. Okay, first a straight up will check to try to prevent 2 sanity loss. His will is 3. On a wilderness space he gets an extra die, so 4. Nope, didn't block it at all. He takes 2. Well, maybe now. Yeah, I'll use one of those clues he just picked up to try to make this a little bit better. So let's re-roll a die. Okay, so he's only don't want to spend his last clue just in case it's really important later. So he's only going to take 1 sanity damage, leaving him at 4. Now the actual fight. Going to do strength -1 to try to prevent 2 damage and cause 3. So his strength is 3, -1 for the Thrall, +1, because he's on Wilderness, so we're back up to 3, and then plus another one for his Hired Muscle, and we do get to re-roll 1. Now we got 1 success, so we will use the re-roll from the Hired Muscle. No. Okay, so we are going to do 1 damage to it and take 1 damage. So there we go, and the Thrall is just going to keep hanging out. So that is it for monsters. Now on to our ancient one. Right. Each investigator gains a hypothermia condition unless they spend 1 focus. So we'll start with our lead, Preston, who does not have the focus, as he was busy getting rid of his corruption though. So if you would gain another hypothermia condition, flip this card instead. Chilling blindness. The cold has shocked your shocked your system, temporarily rendering you blinded. In this empty white prison, you fear you will lose your mind. Lose 1 sanity and discard 1 will improvement token, so that second bit doesn't happen. Then discard this card and gain a hypothermia condition. So he's going to take a sanity hit, putting him down to 4. And then we will give him a fresh hypothermia from the bottom of the pile. Next up, Calvin. He doesn't have focus, but he also doesn't have hypothermia to begin with. So he's just going to get a straight 1 without having to flip it. Marie is going to spend a focus to avoid it. And Leo is also going to spend his focus to avoid his hypothermia from flipping. So that's good anyway. Now, we don't have any Mythos cards. Yeah, this is the part kind of dreading. The conditions and possessions. Yeah, that's the word. Preston doesn't have anything that's going to activate. Calvin is. We're going to do his internal injury first. Test strength. If you fail, flip this card. Okay. So his strength is 3, so not so bad. I think here I might be willing to spend his clue. So let's see what we get. 1, so I could maybe re-roll 1 die and get a... oh no, if you fail. Duh. Some of them you just flip it and it depends on the number. So, okay, that's not going to happen. Then, unfortunately, his corruption, gain 1 Eldritch token, then flip this card. So that puts him to 2. So yeah, resolve each effect that applies based on the number of Eldritch tokens you have. So, because he has at least 1, he's going to gain an injury or illness condition for each Eldritch token he has. So he's going to gain 2 more. I'm going to roll to see what he gets. So we'll say 1, 2, 3 injury and 4, 5, 6 illness. He's going to get an illness. And he gets an infection. When you perform a rest action, you cannot recover health. Can't anyway. Roll 1 die, and a 4, 5, or 6, discard this. That on reckoning, you don't have to do the reckoning effect because we just got it. But wait. Test strength. If you fail, flip this card. And the other thing he is going to get is going to be another injury. He now has a back injury. When you perform a rest action, you may roll 1 die on a 5 or 6 discard and the same reckoning test. But we're not done yet, because on his corruption... Oh wait, no, we don't have to do that until there's 3. Resolve the reckoning effect of each of them, treating all die rolls as 1. Okay. So we got 1 more before that all goes terribly awry. Alright, moving on to Marie. Well, yeah, let's deal with her. Let's deal with the smaller stuff first. Yeah. Poisoned. Right, we just lose a health. So that puts her down to 3. Ooh, that's not good. Let's try her. Let's do her Voice of Ra next. We're going to test her lore, then flip the card. Her lore is 3. Can't spend her clue though. Ra. Do 0. Only through intense concentration can you maintain the aura. Discard this card unless you spend 1 focus. She has no focus. She loses her Voice of Ra, which is too bad. Kind of wanted her. We need her to have 1 of each type of spell. Next up, oh, what do we do first? The debt or the corruption? Let's try the debt. Flip. Bagman. A man surprises you in your hotel room and presses you for information. You fear that if you do not tell him what you want to know, you'll never be heard from again. You may spend 1 clue. We really don't want to. Oh no. If you do not spend the clue, move to a random space and become delayed. Discard this card. That was the worst thing that could have happened there, because she's not going to be in the space we absolutely, utterly need her to be. Oh, okay. Do we spend the clue and just have her wander around trying to find one? No, I think we are completely messed up either way. So, oh no, but if she's delayed, okay, yeah, it's going to spend a whole turn doing nothing. So yeah, we're going to have to spend the clue, and she's going to have to spend an extra turn picking up a clue. We are not going to solve the mystery this turn, and we really should have been able to. Alright, it's her corruption. She's going to take another Eldritch token. Right, for each one, lose 1 health and 1 sanity unless you discard a possession. I think, yeah, we have to. Otherwise she's going to be down to 1 health, and that's incredibly bad. So, we're going to get rid of the bullwhip so that she doesn't take the hit. Yeah, and that's it for her. God, that was the worst possible debt result that we could have had. Leo is going to have to deal with his corruption. So he adds another token. He's got 2. Lose 1 sanity for each Eldritch token you have. So he's going to lose 2 sanity, leaving him at 2. I have a very strong feeling we are not going to win this. I don't know if we'll even make it through next turn. Okay, well, we've done that. Now we spawn a gate, which would be in Tokyo, but because it's connected to the Dreamlands, it's actually going to pop out on the moon. And then we are going to have to, of course, spawn a terrible monster. Oh good, something with a reckoning. Proto-Shoggoth. Here's its stats. On a reckoning, move this monster 1 space towards the nearest investigator, then an investigator on this space immediately encounters this monster. At least it doesn't run around quite as much as the Avian Thrall. Okay, that's on the moon. Well, at least we've got snowflakes here, so something less terrible will happen. Every step of the way, you have never thrown away what could still be used. You have never bought what could be borrowed. And now, your many weeks of discipline are paying off. Others look to your abundant provisions, eager to barter, fruit of labor. Each investigator may gain one resource or spend one resource to improve one's skill. Okay. Well, okay, that's actually, the text is all good. Calvin has a resource. We might as well, yeah, let's go ahead and spend that and decide what we want to up. He's got 3 of everything except will, which is 1. So do I make his will less terrible, or make one of his decent skills better? Let's make his will a little less dismal. And everybody else will just get a resource. Resources for everybody else. And that is that. Well, yeah, I don't see how to do this. Everybody needs to get to the Dreamlands now, which is not possible, and have encounters like crazy to get rid of the Eldritch tokens they got. Either that or find some way to bless these people, give them some kind of bane so they can get rid of the damn corruption. But I don't have high hopes for that. Yeah. Can't believe we got that one debt condition, the one that completely ruined our chances of getting this first mystery done. So it's going to take us at least 2 more rounds to get that done, at least. Which is truly unfortunate. I think we're doomed, and it's only turn 3. God, this is... This prelude, if you ever get this prelude, ignore it. Choose another one, because this is terrible. It has not helped us at all. It has just slowed things way down, and it's going to wipe us out very quickly. Well, I'll see if I have some amazing inspiration before next turn. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks for subscribing to the channel and liking the videos. I appreciate it. And we will see you next time for yet another turn of Eldritch Horror. So long.